Shalom and welcome to our channel. This is a place where we learn about what's required of us by our Creator as we prepare to be part of His kingdom being established here on earth. Join us by subscribing and let's walk this journey of growth together. The world of dark rituals and deceit has been revealed today, exposing the web of lies spun by the devil and his followers. From witches to devil worshippers, these practitioners are led to believe they hold the power to control reality. But in truth, they are mere pawns in a game orchestrated by the father of lies. Through grotesque rituals, manipulation of light and promises of power, they defile God's order, all while thinking they are gaining strength. Yet, the ultimate twist lies in the devil's own weakness. He cannot act without God's permission. The rituals, the blood sacrifices, the false power, they're all illusions, fading as the time of the wicked draws to a close. Soon, none of it will work, and the devil's reign will collapse, leaving only the righteous standing. The question remains, will those caught in this web finally see the truth before it's too late? Or will they sink with the ship of the damned? The end is near, and only those who choose the light will be saved. This video is a letter to all those caught up in these practices, letting them know that the time of their reign is up, and there is hope for those who choose to turn their lives around. Watch this video till the end to learn more. Before we get started with today's message, I want to pose some questions to you, the viewer. You can pause this video to think about these questions, and once done, you can get back to watch the rest of the video. Psalms 115:16 says that this world belongs to man. Satan came after man was given this earth. This is because he came to earth after Adam and Eve were created. How is it then that the devil, who was not given this earth, would make human beings worship him for favor in the planet that God gave them to have dominion over? Does it make sense to go bow down to a visitor of this planet, the devil, knowing very well that we are the ones who are supposed to have dominion over the planet? We were supposed to have dominion over this earth, yet people are busy worshipping the earth as Mother Earth to grant them favors. Does that make any logical sense? If you've taken time to think about these questions, let's get started with today's message to learn more. Witchcraft, a practice steeped in mystery and mysticism, has been part of human history for centuries. From ancient rituals to modern-day spellcasting, witches have long been associated with dark magic and supernatural powers. However, the truth behind witchcraft is not as glamorous as some might imagine. While many who practice witchcraft claim it empowers them, the reality is often far darker and more destructive than they let on. This video aims to shed light on the dangerous practices of witchcraft, the rituals commonly performed, and the profound effects they have on both the witch and their victims. And this video also serves as a letter to those serving the devil, to let them know that their time is up and that they are free to turn their lives around if they choose to. Keep watching this video till the end to learn how you can free yourself. Witchcraft at its core involves the use of spells, rituals and incantations to influence the world around a practitioner. It is commonly associated with supernatural abilities, such as casting spells for love, protection or revenge. While some modern witches view witchcraft as a form of personal empowerment or spiritual growth, the practice often involves invoking spirits, demons or otherworldly forces. The ultimate goal is to tap into these forces to gain power, control or influence over others, often for selfish purposes. Witchcraft rituals can vary greatly depending on the practitioner's tradition or belief system. However, there are some common threads that run through many of them. These rituals often involve elaborate ceremonies, the use of candles, crystals, herbs, and other ritual tools, as well as chanting and invocation of deities or spirits. One of the most common practices in witchcraft is the invocation of spirits or demons to assist in casting spells or achieving specific outcomes. Many witches believe that they can call upon these entities to provide them with power, knowledge, or otherworldly assistance. However, invoking spirits can be extremely dangerous, as these entities are not always benevolent. In fact, many who have dabbled in witchcraft have reported feeling the negative influence of these spirits long after the ritual is over, resulting in feelings of fear, anxiety, or even possession. Another common practice in witchcraft is the casting of curses or hexes on others. These are often done out of a desire for revenge or to cause harm to a specific individual. Witches may use various tools, such as black candles, cursed objects, or personal items from the target, to focus their intent and cause suffering to the victim. While some may argue that these practices are harmless, the consequences for those targeted can be devastating. Victims of witchcraft curses often report experiencing illness, financial ruin, or severe emotional distress, all of which are attributed to the dark forces invoked during the ritual. Love spells are another popular form of witchcraft ritual. Practitioners may use these spells in an attempt to manipulate someone's emotions, forcing them to fall in love with the witch or to break up a relationship. While these spells may seem harmless to some, they are a form of emotional manipulation that violates the free will of others. The consequences of these spells can be dire, often leading to toxic relationships or even severe psychological trauma for both the witch and the victim. Some witches perform sacrifices or offerings as part of their rituals, believing that it will gain them favor with spirits or supernatural beings. These sacrifices may range from small items, such as food or trinkets, to more disturbing acts, such as the sacrifice of animals or even humans. While these practices are often hidden from public view, those who have left the world of witchcraft have spoken about the guilt, shame, and emotional toll these sacrifices take on the practitioner. Many report feeling spiritually empty or disconnected from their true selves after engaging in such rituals. The practice of witchcraft is often glamorized as a way to gain power, control, or influence over others. However, those who have left the practice frequently speak of the spiritual and emotional toll it took on them. Many former witches describe a sense of spiritual emptiness and disconnection from their true selves after years of engaging in occult practices. They often feel trapped in a cycle of fear, guilt, and manipulation, which can lead to deep psychological distress. One of the most profound impacts of witchcraft is the spiritual damage it causes. Many who have left witchcraft report feeling as though they have sold their soul, or that they have opened doors to dark forces that continue to haunt them long after they abandon the practice. The act of invoking spirits and demons can have long-lasting effects, including depression, anxiety, and feelings of alienation from God or a higher power. Those who have turned away from witchcraft often speak of a deep need for spiritual healing and redemption, which can take years to achieve. The psychological effects of witchcraft are not to be underestimated. Engaging in rituals that manipulate the lives of others can take a heavy toll on the practitioner's mental health. Many witches report feeling emotionally drained or disconnected from reality after performing certain rituals, especially those that involve curses or manipulation. The act of attempting to control or influence others can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and an inability to trust oneself. In some cases, witches may experience feelings of paranoia, constantly fearing retaliation from those they have cursed or manipulated. In addition to the spiritual and psychological effects, many witches experience physical symptoms as a result of their involvement in occult practices. These can range from insomnia, chronic fatigue, and headaches to more severe conditions such as physical illness or even unexplained injuries. Many former witches speak of a feeling of being drained or physically weak, often attributing these symptoms to the dark forces they invoked during their rituals. While the witches themselves may suffer the consequences of their actions, the true victims of witchcraft are often those who have been targeted by curses, hexes, or other malicious spells. These victims may not even be aware that they are under attack, but the effects can be devastating. Victims of witchcraft often experience unexplained physical ailments, ranging from chronic illnesses to sudden, severe injuries. These may be the result of curses or hexes that have been placed upon them. In many cases, victims report feeling a sense of overwhelming dread or fear, as though something malevolent is watching them or causing harm in their lives. Some victims experience inexplicable emotional distress, such as depression or anxiety, which can seem to come from nowhere. Witchcraft is often used as a tool for manipulating the lives of others, and one of the most common forms of manipulation is financial destruction. Victims of witchcraft curses may find themselves facing unexpected financial hardships, such as job loss, bankruptcy, or the sudden disappearance of wealth. These financial woes can be traced back to the influence of witchcraft, as practitioners use spells to manipulate the circumstances of their victims' lives. Love spells, curses, and other forms of witchcraft can wreak havoc on personal relationships. Victims may experience intense emotional turmoil, leading to the breakdown of friendships, marriages, or family connections. Those who fall under the influence of witchcraft may find themselves in toxic, one-sided relationships that feel impossible to escape from. In some cases, relationships can be permanently destroyed by the manipulation of a witch's magic. Devil worship, also known as Satanism in its darker and more sinister forms, is one of the most taboo and feared practices in the world. It involves the reverence and worship of Satan or other demonic entities, often in direct opposition to traditional religious beliefs and morality. While some may view it as a path to power, liberation, or enlightenment, the reality is far darker. Devil worship is a practice that has devastating consequences, both for those who engage in it and for the innocent victims who cross their paths. This article aims to shed light on the dark rituals of devil worship, their effects on the practitioner and the victim, and the profound consequences of this practice. It serves as a warning, drawing on the testimonies of those who have turned away from devil worship to escape the grip of its destructive force. Devil worship is the act of venerating Satan, the embodiment of evil, chaos, and destruction. It is often linked to the belief that Satan provides power, knowledge, and freedom, offering an escape from conventional religious and moral restrictions. Devil worship can take various forms, from symbolic acts of rebellion against traditional religious practices to full-fledged ceremonies and rituals aimed at invoking demonic forces. Unlike many mainstream religions which focus on love, compassion, and the pursuit of righteousness, devil worship centers around self-gratification, manipulation, and control. The worship of Satan is often seen as a rejection of God or divine authority, with practitioners seeking power through rituals that call upon Satan or other demonic forces. For some, it is an act of rebellion, while for others, it is a misguided attempt to gain power and control over the world around them. The rituals performed by devil worshippers vary widely, depending on the specific tradition or sect. However, certain themes and practices are common across many forms of Satanism. These rituals are designed to invoke the power of Satan, make pacts with demons, or perform acts of personal empowerment. Some of the most popular and widely practiced rituals include a central ritual in many forms of devil worship is the Satanic Mass, which is an inversion of the traditional Christian Mass. This ritual involves the worship of Satan, the breaking of religious taboos, and the rejection of God. Participants often engage in blasphemous acts, such as desecrating religious symbols like crosses or Bibles, and invoking the name of Satan or demons. The Satanic Mass is often accompanied by dark chants, offerings and sacrifices, all designed to strengthen the bond between the practitioner and the demonic forces they are attempting to summon. Blood sacrifices are another common ritual in devil worship, with the belief that blood, especially human blood, can be used to appease Satan and gain favor with demonic entities. These sacrifices may involve the killing of animals or, in some extreme cases, humans. Blood is seen as a powerful offering, capable of providing spiritual strength and summoning powerful forces. Many former devil worshippers recount the deep horror and guilt they felt after engaging in such practices, as the consequences of blood sacrifices can haunt the practitioner for a lifetime. One of the most insidious aspects of devil worship is the making of pacts with Satan. In exchange for power, wealth, or personal gain, the practitioner agrees to serve Satan or other demonic beings in some form. These pacts are often made through elaborate rituals that involve signing a contract in blood or swearing allegiance to Satan. While some believe that these pacts provide them with power or material success, the reality is far different. Those who enter into such agreements often find themselves trapped in a cycle of spiritual emptiness, manipulation, and fear. As they continue to serve Satan, they may feel increasingly isolated from God and experience severe emotional, psychological, and even physical consequences. Devil worshippers often engage in dark magic, which involves casting curses or spells designed to harm others or gain power over them. These spells may be directed at individuals or groups with the intent of causing suffering, destruction, or death. Curses may be placed on enemies, family members, or even innocent strangers. Many devil worshippers believe that these dark forces can be harnessed to manipulate reality and bend others to their will. However, the price of such power is steep, as those who use dark magic often find themselves consumed by it, leading to severe personal, emotional, and spiritual deterioration. While some devil worshippers may believe they are gaining power or control, the reality is that their involvement in satanic practices often has deeply damaging effects. The psychological, emotional, and spiritual toll of devil worship is profound, leaving those who practice it trapped in a destructive cycle of manipulation, fear, and despair. The spiritual consequences of devil worship are among the most damaging. Many former devil worshippers speak of feeling as though they have severed their connection to God, or that they have sold their soul to Satan in exchange for power. The sense of spiritual emptiness and hopelessness that comes with this practice is pervasive. Many who have left the world of devil worship describe feeling haunted by their actions, burdened with guilt, and disconnected from any higher power. Some even report feeling oppressed by demonic forces that continue to influence their thoughts, actions, and emotions long after they have abandoned Satanism. Devil worship is often accompanied by severe psychological damage. The act of manipulating others through dark magic, curses, and blood sacrifices can create feelings of guilt, shame, and self-loathing. Many devil worshippers suffer from depression, anxiety, and paranoia, constantly fearing retaliation from Satan or the demonic entities they have invoked. The weight of their actions can lead to severe mental health issues, and those who attempt to break free from Satanism often experience intense emotional turmoil as they try to reconcile their past with their desire for healing. The physical toll of devil worship can also be significant. Many former devil worshippers describe experiencing physical illnesses, chronic fatigue, and a general sense of being drained or weakened by their involvement in satanic rituals. Some even report strange occurrences such as unexplained injuries or inexplicable sensations of being touched or watched by unseen forces. These physical symptoms are often linked to the demonic presence that follows those who engage in devil worship. In addition to physical ailments, many devil worshippers experience emotional destruction as their relationships with family, friends, and loved ones are torn apart by their involvement in dark practices. While the consequences of devil worship are severe for the practitioner, the true victims are often the innocent individuals who are targeted by curses, manipulations, and dark magic. These victims may be unaware that they are under attack, yet they suffer the consequences of the witch's actions. Victims of devil worship may experience physical illness, mental anguish, and emotional turmoil as a result of curses or dark rituals performed against them. These symptoms may appear suddenly, without any clear explanation. The victim may experience a range of symptoms from unexplained illness to intense feelings of dread, anxiety, or depression. In some cases, victims of curses or hexes may even experience physical harm, such as accidents, injuries, or unexplained ailments, all of which are tied to the malicious actions of the devil worshipper. The emotional and spiritual toll on victims of devil worship can be just as devastating. These individuals may feel an overwhelming sense of fear or oppression, as if something malevolent is lurking in their lives. Victims often describe a loss of hope, a sense of spiritual abandonment, and a deep sense of despair that cannot be easily explained. The darkness that comes from devil worship can weigh heavily on the victim's soul, causing long-lasting emotional and spiritual damage. So far, we have seen that witches and devil worshippers both have to perform rituals to manipulate reality into their desire, and we have seen that most of the rituals they carry out hurt both the perpetrator and the victim. Now we shall look at the tricks that the devil has pulled on his followers and hope that this information will help such people see through the lies and the manipulation and walk away. The problem is, the devil has played his followers to think that they are winning and that they have power, but in reality they are just being played. And when we talk about manipulation of reality to meet someone's desire, we are also talking about those new ages, those who teach about how to attract abundance through the power of attraction and misdirecting people from going to our Creator for such blessings. Those calling themselves light workers, and those who teach that the Bible is not real, that it's a book talking about other gods and aliens, and those who are currently teaching that we are transitioning to a new 5G reality for the light vibration people and so on. For all of them, teachings and practices lead to the same hole in the devil's pit. When our Creator said that the devil is the father of lies, he knew what he was saying. This devil has managed to lie to his team as well as the rest of the world. But in this video, we shall only be focusing on the lies he has sold his team, and he has blinded them to foolishly fulfill his plans while thinking they are on the same page with him. Let's begin with the humiliating acts he makes his followers do so they can perform the rituals. He makes them drink disgusting stuff and perform disgusting acts. And the whole time he makes them believe that this will unlock power and give power to their rituals. It's almost comical when you imagine that any human being would believe in this nonsense. But the effect and influence of the devil's lies cannot be underestimated. The devil is so smart that he tells his team that these rituals are secret knowledge and backs it up with books that have been written many years ago to support these claims. The problem is that these books were written by people who were inspired by the devil or his demons. So, if demons have inspired these books, what makes them believers in Satan think that what has been written there holds any truth to it? Whoever lied to the witches that there's power in sage, or the devil worshippers that there's power in human blood? Let us take some time to think about this issue together. First of all, every plant and every creation has a spiritual aspect, but the devil lies to his followers by making them use the right tool, but for the wrong reasons. For example, the devil knows that some herbs and some trees can heal because God created them like that. But he makes them witches use these same herbs and trees to hex people and cause the same diseases that these herbs are supposed to treat. So, in that way, the devil is guaranteed that whatever his followers do, they are defiling God's order of life before he grants them their wishes. This is because, according to God's order of life, those herbs are supposed to heal. But Satan makes his followers use them to lay curses on people, thus defiling God's order of life. I know some white witches believe that they use herbs to bring healing, but the problem is that they have to bow down to the spirits when doing these rituals for the herbs to bring healing to their client. The fact that they have bowed down to other gods to achieve their goal makes it idol worship. God never created these herbs so we can bow down to spirits so we can heal. The act of bowing down to the spirits for rituals is not in line with God's order of life. And that is where the white witches go wrong, even if their intentions are good. Another popular way that the devil tricks his followers is by making them believe that hallucinogens have the power to help them go into another world and that this will give them wisdom. Our brains can indeed hallucinate under different circumstances, but these hallucinations are just a creation of the mind or a reaction of our brain to the external circumstances that have altered the normal state of our brains. But to now start believing that these hallucinations are real and start calling it spiritual wisdom is a whole new level of confusion. My question to people who fall for this hallucinogen lie is, how sure are you that the world you see and call it the spiritual world is not a manipulation of the devil? The reason I'm asking this question is because when you agree to defile your body by taking such substances, you are already showing God that you don't appreciate the body he created in you. And this gives legal ground for the devil to do as he pleases with you. And the devil, being a master manipulator, can pull any theatrics on you and make you believe there's a world out there that belongs to humans, and that this planet is just a pit stop or a training ground for our souls or any other stuff that he has made people who consume such things to believe. And these people forget that the creator of this universe said that this world he created for the sake of us humans. As a bonus, to keep you hooked after consuming hallucinogens to gain spiritual knowledge, the devil will give you some knowledge on the topic you were looking to find answers in, and he will give you just enough to keep you coming back. And of course, we cannot forget his specialty, that of mixing truth and lies. He will make sure that the answer you get contains some bit of truth to it, and lies to keep you off God's will. Now let's look at other issues like using blood for sacrifice. If God himself said that there are to be no rituals done in human blood, and even gave us Jesus, who was not fully human, to be sacrificed, what makes you followers of the devil, who can't even create a life, think that you will gain power in making a human blood sacrifice? What the devil does, because he has always been an opposer of our Creator, is by making his followers defile God's order of things, and he rewards them for defiling God's order of things and for hurting fellow humans. When he makes his followers drink disgusting stuff, become immoral, and so on, he ensures that they defile the body that God created. Also, when the devil makes his followers transform their bodies using surgery, he makes them defile God's order of things. And When the devil makes his followers practice feminism or do rituals to render a man weak, the devil then rewards them for defiling God's order of things, for God put a man in charge, and feminism opposes this order. Therefore, these rituals that the devil's followers perform are not meant to open spiritual doors as they are made to believe. The rituals only ensure that the devil's followers constantly defile their bodies and defile God's order of things, meaning if you are part of the devil's team, you cannot then be seen keeping God's order of life. To ensure that his followers always defile this order, he incorporates rituals that ensure that each time they want something done, they must defile God's order of things so they can have their wish granted. The devil then plans how these rituals will seem like secret knowledge that God did not want humans to have. And this is just plain comical and laughable. The devil even ensures that this knowledge is documented in ancient books, which his followers then discover later in life. They believe that spiritual knowledge will open doors for them. To further illustrate how the devil lies to his followers, I have also listened to different testimonies from people who came out of devil worship and discovered that Satan has given them different creation stories and different explanations of how the world operates. And oh my goodness, I think to myself, this father of lies can't even keep his story straight with his followers. And I always ask myself, does he tell them these lies with a straight face, or does he smile behind the scenes? Now, after making them buy into his lies of how he is God's victim in the creation story, and making his followers do these degrading acts to gain power, he then rewards them with money, power, influence, and so on. The problem now comes in when our Creator says that his time is up, or renders judgment against the devil's followers. These followers suffer the wrath of our Creator and even suffer the wrath of the devil for failing in their rituals, so they suffer from both ends. And I always wonder to myself, what kind of human beings can risk being punished by God and being punished by the devil just so they can be rich or powerful for only a short while? How can human beings be given such a raw deal by the devil, who is inherently weaker than God, and then see this deal as if it's the ultimate best gift they can ever get? I'm saying this because if his followers understood how this world operates, they would realize how much of a raw deal they are getting from the devil. The same way that God is not mostly interested in sacrifices, but instead is interested in obedience, the same way the devil really doesn't care much about those rituals that his followers do. He is mostly interested in his followers being obedient to him, such that even if he asks them to degrade themselves with these rituals, they will do so without question. So let not the devil lie to you that there is power in sacrificing human blood to him, or in doing rituals that defile God's order. God, who is our Creator, still runs this world, even if the devil was given a chance to rule this world temporarily. In the end, how decisions are made and judgments passed each time the devil's followers make a request goes as follows. When witches and devil worshippers do a ritual, the devil then goes to God to ask for permission for the wishes of this ritual can be fulfilled. God, at the end of the day, grants a yes or a no to these requests made by the devil. All the time in heaven, there are always cases being presented by the devil in heaven for the wish of his followers to be fulfilled. Since the time of Adam and Eve and the times of Job, and even today, the devil has never changed. He still has to consult the owner for permission to implement what he wants for his followers. So, when the devil makes his followers use items like sage to pray in rituals, he is just ensuring that these followers keep breaking God's laws constantly. God's laws forbid us from worshipping idols, praying to other gods, and making images of what he created. When these followers pray using such items, they break all these commandments at once, even before they get started with their rituals. These items do not have the power to open spiritual portals or grant followers success. The devil uses this narrative to keep his followers hooked into thinking they have power when they truly don't. And he also makes his followers use plants and herbs in ways that God never intended for them to be used. God never made plants and herbs to hex other people or to intoxicate our bodies. He created them for our good. When his followers use the plants and herbs according to how the devil wants, the devil then adds a dramatic flair to all this by making a grand gesture entrance, which is seen as spiritual forces manifesting when the followers perform rituals that have broken God's laws and make these followers think that there is true power there. That is why I like to argue that the devil is really suited to Hollywood or the entertainment industry, for he can come up with different versions and explanations, create grand stories behind things, and make them sound reasonable and true. Going back to the point on how decisions are made in this world, each time the rituals fail, what that means is that God didn't grant the devil permission to fulfill that ritual. The devil then blames his followers for this failure. This is because the devil can't tell that to his followers, for if he does so, his camp will be empty. So what these followers of the devil don't understand is that the power doesn't come from the devil, but has to first be approved by God, who created that devil. And this is a concept that even most Christians don't understand. And that is why they have spent years being afraid of the devil's followers, not knowing they also can be victors if they obey God's laws and present their case to God. Another thing that Christians and the devil's followers don't know is that the devil is God's errand person, meaning that when God wants to punish any person for breaking his laws, he sends the devil. And that is why at the end of the day, the devil is still answerable to God. That is why the devil walks around looking for who to devour or lead astray, so he can go to God and present his case and get granted permission to hurt anyone who has fallen from the right path. Therefore, drinking all those disgusting things and doing inhumane things to the bodies that these devil's followers do is unnecessary, because at the end of the day, their father, the devil, goes to present his cases to God for these wishes to be granted. If the devil has to go to God to ask for permission, why then would any normal human being believe in such a person and think that there is power there? Another thing the Dark Kingdom does is instill fear to keep people bound in this kingdom and keep the rest of the people afraid of them. They make the rest of us believe that there are people who are half human and half animals, like the mermaids. They also make us believe that there's a world under the sea. And the devil's followers say they don't go there in person, but go there under the sea in spirit. If this world under the sea was real, why don't these followers go in person? Why do they have to go in spirit? Why do they have to teleport to this underworld? There are indeed accounts of people who went to heaven spiritually, but they never went to the heaven that our Creator lives. They went to the third heaven. And this heaven is not here on Earth, it's somewhere outside this planet. On this planet Earth, we don't have two or more worlds in it. We only have one world that only belongs to humans. The spirits do move around because they are in the form of energy. They can transform into human form if they want to, but it's also not sustainable long-term because that's not their original form, and this is not where God designed them to be living. Just like we can go to heaven but in spirit form, and we can't stay there for long because we were not designed to live there. Our bodies survive best on this planet. Therefore, if true mermaids were walking on this earth, why then do the so-called mermaid people grow old and die in human flesh? And because God has gone into details to tell us what he created, how did he forget to mention that he created humans who are half fish and half humans? Or are those who have believed the devil's lies going to tell us that it's the physical body of these marmy water is the one that has died, and their spirits have moved to another body, which means that they don't die? If it's true that these half-humans and half-mermaids are spirits that don't die, why then do they invest in security on this planet? Shouldn't they be walking freely for they can't die? Let's reason together about this issue. What happens when it comes to this mummy water lie is that the devil can manipulate light and reality, so he can make things appear as if they are not. That explains why a lot of his followers are good in entertainment, for that is the one area that the devil specializes in, making things appear as if they are not. So if he can manipulate light, he can manipulate senses too. This means that he can make your spirit see as if you are going under the sea, and you will see a whole world and believe that it truly does exist. But God himself said that he gave this world to humans. And if God said that this planet belongs to humans, How then can the devil create other beings to live in this world? And how can God go against his word and allow other beings to live on this earth after he said that he gave this world to humans? If there are other creatures other than humans, if in case they do exist, they would have to come from another planet, but not from planet Earth. God already gave this planet to humans. Those who claim to have been born here on Earth, but are half human, half mermaid in the spirit, are also a laughable joke. What happens is these people are born as humans, but since they have already been dedicated to the devil, their spirits are controlled and manipulated by the demons. The demons use their bodies to fulfill their agendas while lying to them that they are special in that they are half human and half mermaid. Because these demons live in this person, they can manipulate how people of the opposite gender perceive them such that they appear attractive and enchanting. But these humans are not any special or any different from the rest of us humans. The only difference is that their bodies are used as vessels by demons. And then to cement this claim of mermaids, the devil, who is the author of theatrics, ensures that there are people who see mermaids in real life by manipulating light and manipulating reality so that these people can live to give a testimony and even write books about this. Thus, people believe that these mermaids have existed with us since time immemorial because of such testimonies or accounts of encounters. But the truth is, this world was given to humans and the animals that man was supposed to have dominion over. God never gave this world to half humans and half animals. And God has not allowed the devil to create a world under the sea for these marmy water people to live in. And God has never broken his word, and he ain't about to start that with the devil. Let me ask another question. Why is it that these so-called mermaid people who live on this earth undergo deliverance in churches and are set free and left as normal human beings? Doesn't that show you that no half-human and half-mermaid people are living on this earth? It's just people who get possessed by these spirits to fulfill their agenda. Solomon in the Bible asked God for wisdom, and God gave it to him freely without performing rituals. And he had so much wisdom that he could even imprison demons. So, to the followers of the devil and those practicing witchcraft, if you want wisdom, knowledge, power and so on, why don't you try God like Solomon did, and you will get it for free, instead of being a slave to humiliating rituals and being a slave to the devil. If Solomon stayed with this wisdom and used it rightly, he would have been successful till the end. The problem is, towards the end, he started mixing this wisdom with that of the fallen angels, and this led him to use this wisdom for the wrong agenda. But the point of talking about Solomon was to show you that God does give wisdom freely to those who ask. You don't need to dehumanize yourself to get wisdom, power, or wealth. And then again, can you imagine having gone through all those rituals to get to a higher level in the devil's kingdom, only to realize that the road only leads to a pit of hell? In the end, God said he would break his silence in the last days, and the oppression of the righteous, or those who do God's will, is going to be brought to an end. And when this happens, it means that all the power that the devil's followers had accumulated will be brought to an end. And God said that he would cry like a travailing woman as he brings the wicked to an end in the last days. And this period started in the year 2020. If you worshippers of the devil and the witches are to be honest, the rituals are not working like they used to in the past. The rituals are not as powerful as before, and soon none of your rituals are going to be working at all. Why will this happen? This will happen because of the power shift from the wicked to the righteous. This will happen as God's word dominates and rules this world like God had intended to from creation. And the devil by this time will be powerless, and in the end be thrown into a pit of hell together with his followers. I have another question for the devil's followers, and them witches. Now that these rituals are not working like they used to, what lies is your father, the devil, telling you this time around? Or is he busy blaming you and punishing you for making these rituals fail? Is your narcissistic father, the devil, playing blame-shifting games with you all and making you believe that you are not working as hard in your rituals and your service to him? The time for you, the worshippers of the devil and the witches, to dominate this world has come to an end. And this video is a letter dedicated to you all, so that whoever wants to free themselves can do so. There is no need to suffer the same fate as the devil. You all have been deceived into thinking there is power in what you do, but I am here to tell you that the power in those rituals ended in the year 2020, and there is no more power there. Come out of her, Babylon the Great, so that you may not be destroyed together with her. The devil has deceived his followers for ages to think that the rituals that they do have power, but in reality, this same devil goes to ask for permission from God for these wishes to be granted. If the devil was so powerful, would he have to go ask God for permission? What also a lot of the devil's followers do not understand is that the devil and his demons have a huge enmity with the human species. For they know that human beings were created with more superiority to them, and God loved his creation in humans. But the devil has made his followers believe that we, as human beings, are not powerful, and they need the help of the devil to be powerful. And this applies to even those theories circulating that we are not meant for this world and that's why we die and go to heaven, while God himself said that he has given this world to humans. This lie about death is perpetuated by the devil so that we never question why we die, and if we do happen to question it, we never realize that if we get our relationship right with our Creator, we would never die. The way to everlasting life is knowing God and knowing Jesus whom he sent forth. If you want to learn more about this, you can watch the video on our channel called Is Jesus the Messiah? And will Jesus come back in the last days? Why then would human beings opt to serve the devil while they were created to be more powerful than him to begin with? Why would they go to look for power from the devil when God created us to have dominion over evil? And why would the followers of the devil believe in his lies and work for him tirelessly and be constantly enslaved by these evil spirits while God created them to be more powerful than them? As I said, this video is a letter to the followers of the devil and the witches, to let you know that you are free, to let you know that your days of ruling this world ended in the year 2020, in case the devil, your father, hasn't told you, to let you know that there's a way out if you want to be free by following God's commandments and practicing what Jesus taught, and to let you know that you don't need to dehumanize yourself while serving the devil to be powerful, when God created you to be naturally powerful. The time for the oppression of the righteous has ended, which means that if you cross over to the side of the righteous, God will keep you safe, but if you still choose to remain in the boat of the wicked, you will sink in it. If you want to learn more about how you can join the winning ship, you can watch the video on our channel called How to Deal with Generational Curses, Familiar Spirits, and Witchcraft. This is a plea to the followers of the devil in any way, shape or form to get out of the sinking ship. It also serves as a warning to those who choose to stick in the sinking ship that the consequences will now be severe, for the end has come. In the end, all we can do is plead with you guys to leave a sinking ship and join the winning ship of our Creator, so you may gain everlasting life. We can't force you or make that decision for you. That has to come from your heart. And it is our sincere prayer that our Creator will hear all those who ask him for help to be rescued from the devil. For God says in Isaiah 59, 1, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither is his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. And in Exodus 20:6 reads, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. If you choose to follow God's laws and what Jesus taught, God will save you, he will hear you, and he will show you mercy. So far we have learned that mummy water are not real half humans and half fish. Instead, they are spirits who manipulate reality and possess human beings to fulfill their agendas. We have also seen that we don't have a physical under-the-sea world where these mummy water live, for this world was created for humans, and every other thing that God created is documented in the Bible. We don't have a world that supports the life of half species, like half fish and half humans. Also, we have seen that the devil goes to ask for permission from God to fulfill the requests of his followers. So, in the end, the final word ends with God and not with Satan. And we have also seen that there is no power in the physical things used in rituals. The very act of using these items ensures that the devil's followers always break God's laws as they request the devil for help. The power of these rituals started to end in the year 2020 as the power shifted from the wicked to the righteous, and will continue to diminish until the end of the system, which is not far from now. And finally, anyone who has fallen victim to the devil's lies has a chance to walk away by going back to obeying God's laws and following what Jesus taught. That's all for today. I hope you did learn quite a few things from this video. If you have any questions, you can send us an email or write your question in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video and it brought value to your day, don't forget to like, comment and share it with someone who might need it too. And if you want to be part of this journey with us, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we share more content. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next one.